Today's video is a little bit shorter than normal, but I just wanted to get something out there about trailer loading with a foal. Teddy is 2 months old now at this point, and we have to get him acclimated to trailer loading. I've been wanting to do it anyways in case there's ever an emergency and he needs to go on the trailer. So introducing the trailer young and in a safe, positive way is very beneficial in my opinion to producing a young horse and making sure that they feel confident and comfortable with things that they're going to be asked to do later on. So something to keep in mind is it's very helpful to have a second person to hold on to the mare when this process is happening. It can be really tricky to do this as one person. The first thing that we're doing here is just presenting the trailer to him, and I just took him on a walk all the way around the trailer so he could get kind of acclimated to it from the outside perspective. And then we put Ruby in the trailer first, of course. So as I'm beginning the trailer loading process, I start with what he's most used to, which is just pressure from the halter. He's pretty comfortable with that. And then later on, I'm going to switch to pressure with using another rope around his hind end. I'm not putting a ton of pressure on him. I just want him to be comfortable with that space and seeing his mom on the trailer at this point, and make sure that he still has his confidence and kind of wants to go in the trailer. And then as I'm adding pressure, I'm trying to go side to side rather than just straight backwards or straight forwards, I suppose. Another thing I'm trying to do is not look directly at him. So it's kind of hard to see in the video, but I'm not making any eye contact with him. And whenever I can, I try to turn my upper body away from him. Moving side to side rather than just pulling him straight up the trailer is a good way to help him move his feet in a positive way and in a forward motion without getting into a tug of war with him. Another important thing about going side to side rather than just straight forwards and backwards, it moves your body out of the way for them a little bit more, and they can see that the space is more open. They can see the trailer from their left eye and their right eye because it's important for them to see on either side of them. The flies were pretty bad, so we took a little break here after he just kind of tapped the ramp with his foot. I applied more fly spray, and then we put some hay in the trailer for Ruby so that she could be entertained and comfortable while we're loading him. So here I'm just adding the rope pressure over his rump so that the rope is sitting just above his hocks, and I'm putting a little bit of pressure on and then I'm releasing, and then every time he moves off of the pressure I'll give him a scratch on the shoulder. And another thing to keep in mind here too is he is very familiar with both of these different pressure points. So he's used to having the pressure behind his butt, and he's also used to pressure on his pole from all of the halter breaking that we've been doing with him. And I wouldn't introduce anything new to him in that way while we're introducing a large kind of question into the equation, because that could kind of overwhelm him and overstimulate him and cause him to shut down or lose confidence. So anyways, here I'm just adding a little bit of pressure. As soon as he walks forward, I take the pressure off, and then I give him a good scratch on the shoulder. And it seems like not much is happening, but he's actually doing so much and getting more confident every time he takes a step forward and every time he moves off of the pressure. So I just let him kind of take the time he needs, and I don't want to rush this process because I really want the process to be positive for him, because it can really set the tone for how they see trailering later on in life. And here he's getting really close to putting his feet on the ramp. And something I also didn't mention is it's helpful, as you can probably see from the video, if I take my foot off of the ramp, it kind of floats above the ground a little bit. So I try to get him used to that movement early on so there's no surprises. And here he's putting his foot on the ramp on his own, just because he's a bit curious about it now and feeling confident. So this whole process, I'm just trying to make it a pleasant experience. And it's okay for him to back off a little bit. I'm going to reward him really big for that try. So anytime he tries, I want to reward him and let him know that I saw that, and that's going to help him process what's happening even quicker. So every time he's curious about the ramp and kind of brushing his nose on it or eating a piece of hay off of the ramp, I want to reward him for that too. And really just take our time, add a little more pressure. And then I want to make it seem more like it's his idea to walk up the ramp at this point. So there I didn't really put any pressure on, but he just was curious enough to go up and on the ramp, and then I give him a big reward. And then here I'm just waiting to see how he feels about it. Big scratches, get him used to standing at that angle, and then he just walked in. So when that happens, I just want to take the rope off, give him a lot of scratches, and then make the experience inside the trailer really positive. So what we did was just scratch him, let him see his mom, give him a little bit of hay also. And so he associates going in the trailer with being relaxed, eating some hay, and hanging out with his mom. So now that he's been on the trailer and he's feeling comfortable, he's very chill and he seems very confident. It's kind of how he feels just in his stall. I'm gonna invite him to step down the ramp. And then it gets a little bit tricky with the mare, so you don't want her to jump out ahead of them. I'm just going to let him step out at his own pace and not really put any pressure on him. And then Ruby's being a really good girl. She's just waiting behind with Sid. And then he might jump out or he might lose his balance, but he did a really good job. And then Ruby comes off a little bit after. We don't want her to jump on top of him, so we give them plenty of space. And it went really well. So that's it for the video. I feel very, very happy with how he responded to this question, and I'm feeling like he's getting more prepared for what's to come up in the future, and I'm really, really pleased with him. But I wanted to get something out there because I noticed there aren't a whole lot of resources in particular about introducing trailer loading to foals, and so I thought it would be really helpful for someone like myself to watch before trying it yourself. So let me know what you thought, and if you'd like to see more videos like this. I'm really, really excited to bring Teddy to inspections, and of course I'm going to vlog that, so look forward to that in the next couple of weeks, and I'll see you in the next video.